Amitabha Buddha. Hello everyone. So a comment about why there are no women in the Pure Land. Does Amitabha Buddha have anything against women? So of course not. As a Buddha who is a completely enlightened being, the Buddha would not have any discrimination against anybody. But why the Sutra says there are no women in the Pure Land? So if we read the Infinite Life Sutra and also the Rebirth Treatise by Bodhisattva Vasubandhu, we realize that no beings will be born there in female form or with incomplete faculties. So it should be easy to understand all beings in the Pure Land will have perfect faculties, the perfect ability to see, to hear, etc. Whereas beings on earth in our world, we could have people who are blind and who are deaf, etc. And for beings with incomplete faculties, then upon seeking rebirth to the Pure Land, you will have complete faculties. And also why there are no women. So in fact, in the Pure Land, there are no men, no women. So there are no men or women on how we may understand men and women in our world. So in our world, there are gender differences. Because of our differences in our bodies, so we may label someone as man or woman. But whereas, remember, in the Pure Land, you will be born throughout the lotus with pure golden body. So this is the third vow of Amitabha Buddha amongst his 48 great vows. If we study the 48 great vows of Amitabha Buddha, on the third vow we will realize that when we are born in the Pure Land, we will all have the bodies of pure gold. And also the fourth vow of the 48 great vows, there are actually no differences between our appearances in the Pure Land. We will actually all look the same. And we will actually all look like Amitabha Buddha with the golden body, except we'll be much smaller than Amitabha Buddha. Amitabha Buddha is incredibly huge. The Sabokakaya, the bliss form body of Amitabha Buddha, is incredibly huge in the Pure Land. But when we go to the Pure Land, we'll also look like Amitabha Buddha, except just smaller, but still much bigger than human beings on earth. And also the 26th vow will have the bodies like that of Vajra Narayana. So Vajra Narayana are like the diamond warriors, a type of Dharma protector who have indestructible body. We'll all have the same golden indestructible body with no genders. And why did the Buddha single out women in the Sutras? And also if we look at the 35th vow of the 48th vow, it also says for women who wish to renounce womanhood, if they generate bodhicitta, have faith and come to my land, they will also not be reborn as women. So why the Buddha actually singled out the women form is also because women in our world generally bear more sufferings than men. Now, I'm not saying all women, but generally the proportion of sufferings for women is actually much greater than men, due to the karma of the women's body and also certain social conditions. That's why another great advantage for us to go to the Pure Land is that we will be able to let go of this low-dimensional body, like this temporary body that can actually bring us with a lot of sufferings and troubles. So we let go of this low-dimensional physical body and we can attain birth to the Pure Land, to the land of ultimate bliss. And some people also ask, are there spouse, marriage, or sexual activities in the Pure Land? So of course, no, none of this. So the Pure Land is really a land of ultimate purity and ultimate bliss. And you would not even have such thoughts like that when you are in the Pure Land. When you see everybody is actually the same as you, you really feel the oneness in all beings, and that is why we can realize Buddhahood so soon. The whole of the environment in the Pure Land is constructed or designed in a way by Amitabha Buddha to help us to fast track to realize Buddhahood as soon as possible. So why is it so difficult for us to realize enlightenment in the Saha world? We may have attachment to certain people and also the mind of separation. So a lot of time this is also caused by the differences in our appearances, which create the illusion of separation and attachment and could give rise to thoughts of greed, anger, and ignorance. And also the differences in genders in our world have also resulted in a lot of troubles and conflicts. So when you are in the Pure Land, you would not even have such thoughts like that. You would not have any impure thoughts, even for beings in the form realm. So in the cycle of reincarnation, there are the desire realm, the form realm, and the formless realm. So even for beings in the form realm, they already do not have such thoughts. They already let go of the attachment to lust, to desire. They enjoy the bliss of meditation. And what says about beings in the Pure Land? Beings in the Pure Land enjoy ultimate bliss, like permanent bliss, the bliss of meditation and samadhi. And people may be like, what's the joy of living like that if you don't get married or you don't engage in sexual activities, etc. So whatever we may consider as joy or pleasures in this world, if you look at the nature of it, the essence of that, it's actually very short-lived, transient and temporary. This in Buddhism is called illusions. It's actually not the real bliss. Only when one realizes enlightenment, then one understands what is the real permanent bliss. The bliss of enlightenment and the bliss of Buddhahood is billionfold times infinity, much better than whatever bliss we may think or we may enjoy here on earth. If the bliss of samadhi, the bliss of enlightenment is less than maybe the bliss for lust or for whatever we may be craving here on earth, then after Buddha realized enlightenment, in his lifetime, he would have just gone back to the palace and to keep living like a king. But he did not choose to do so. He still chose to live a life of aesthetic and to spread the Dharma to more people, to help people to be awakened and also to realize enlightenment. So we must understand that the bliss of enlightenment is much higher, billionfold higher than whatever bliss we may experience here temporarily on earth. This is also because whatever joy, bliss, pleasures that we enjoy here are all very short-lived. And not only they are short-lived, usually they are also accompanied by the thoughts of impurity and also to the actions of impurity, which could give rise to greed, anger, and ignorance, and which will result in negative karma and a lot of problems in our life. So if you want to enjoy the true bliss, the ultimate bliss, you have to go to the Pure Land and to realize enlightenment there. The bliss, the joy of enlightenment, we can actually not comprehend with our limited ordinary mind, but we will be able to know. We will be able to actually experience for ourselves when we seek rebirth to Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land. So that's why it's actually important for us to study the Sutras and all the 48 great vows together. If you are only attached to one particular vow, then you may be missing the whole picture on the Pure Land Dharma, and also you may have a lot of questions or even confusions. So what is so great about Chinese Pure Land Buddhism is that we look at all the 48 great vows together, and also to study all the Pure Land Sutras together. So in that way, you will have a much better understanding on the Pure Land Dharma, and also you will have the full and complete image on the Pure Land and what is in store for you when you go to the Pure Land, and why we must all vow to seek rebirth to Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land. So may all beings hear the name of Amitabha Buddha and be reborn in the land of ultimate bliss. Namo Amituofo Buddha. Namo Amituofo.